You so much. Well, I hope everyone has heard about 월렛커넥트 in some way. Even if you have not heard about 월렛커넥트, you might have used it without even noticing. And as already was mentioned, my name is Pedro Gomes. I'm the founder and director of 월렛커넥트 Foundation. I started building 월렛커넥트 in 2018, which soon has started to become a much bigger project than I could ever envisioned. And then eventually we actually were able to decentralize and build this massive network of interoperability for wallets, which is now something that I'm leading as part of the 월let커넥트 Foundation. And I'm here to talk more specifically about how to make wallets smarter. Because wallets, as many of you know today, are primarily these private keys that you have maybe in your phone or in your computer, but they can be so much more than that. And one of the things that is important to note is why are wallets how they are today? We need to ask ourselves that because we now have wallets to interact with the blockchain, but we've been using the internet for a very long time and we didn't need wallets. So what was this shift that made us all use wallets with Web3, with blockchain, with crypto? So I always like to present here two sides of the story, right? In the blue area, you have what was Web 2, and in the darker area, you have what Web 3 is. The big difference is that you can see the arrows where, as a user, you talk to applications in Web 2, and this application talks to a server. And then in this server, we actually have some sort of authentication logic. It could be different service, so it could be even embedded into the server. This essentially says that this application will be controlling how you authenticate. Authenticating by meaning you identify yourself and authorize actions in this application. And the server is the proxy between the authentication and the application. So you can't do anything in the application without the authorization of the authentication server. And in the blockchain, we actually flip this around. And you could think of the application as any application today, and then we actually have the blockchain as this new server that lives on the internet and it's fully decentralized. But instead of having the authentication built into the blockchain, we actually put it in the user's hands. And we now call this a wallet. A wallet that stores your assets, a wallet that controls your identity, a wallet that essentially gives you control over what happens in the blockchain, and the application can't do anything without your authorization, which is very different how before that the app could talk to the server and then the server could make decisions on how to change the data, the assets behind it. The wallet has the final power here. So what does that look like? We currently today connect our wallets, and then we have to sign some messages, we have to sign some transactions, and these signatures are creating the authentication and authorization for you to make changes in the blockchain. But this is not a great user experience. It's currently what we have today, but we can do so much more. And one of the key lessons with any user experience design is that less clicks is more. You need to reduce the number of steps that it takes to do something to have a better user experience. And today, when you think about 월let커넥트 or any wallet experience, you always have to go to an application, you have to choose which wallet you're going to use, you approve this connection, then you go back and you sign to verify that you own this wallet, then you go back and you verify a signature. It takes a lot of steps, and we've been doing a lot of work to remove that. And one of the things that we wanted to think of is if we think about this as a login experience, you would connect and then you would remove the signing part. But to remove the signing part, you're essentially removing this power that was given to you, which is to authorize every action. So how can we keep that power of self-custody with the wallet? By removing the inconvenience of having to sign. So that's what we call smart sessions. Smart sessions is something that we have developed together with all of the smart wallets. So within the 월let커넥트 network, we have over 700 wallets, and some of these wallets have built smart wallets, which essentially means that they have programmability that allows you to customize the experience beyond what's considered a basic wallet. And with the smart session, we essentially designed something like, for example, imagine you go to Uniswap, and Uniswap asks you, hey, I can see you're using a smart wallet. I would like to use a smart session. And for 30 days, I will have the authorization to spend this much ETH on the Ethereum chain. So you're basically giving these conditions or these rules that the application now has the power to do something with some independence, some autonomy. And it's kind of finding the balance between what was a Web 2 experience in a Web 3 world. Because we want the Web 2 experience where everything just happens in the background seamlessly, but with still the power and control that this user has in a Web 3 world. So we can define the rules upon the connection, and then this actually creates the whole session for you. You no longer would need to sign. So let's look through a little bit of what this would look like. You would have less pop-ups, because obviously when you actually don't have to sign, you no longer have to go to the wallet, and the wallet keeps bothering you to approve, approve, approve. You increase the number of actions, because a lot of applications today are not designed as freely, because they have to consider all of these pop-ups and actions that we have to ask users constantly. So we would completely change what we can do with blockchain, because no longer would have these wallet pop-ups. We also would empower a lot of AI automation. A lot of the things that we currently can't do with AI is because the wallet has the final power of signing a transaction. And most importantly, as I described before, you have these very clear user-defined policies. This in itself already is a massive improvement, because your wallet today has no customization. It's just a private key, and you're making active decisions every time you sign something. So imagine you're actually talking to an agent today. How would you actually do any interaction, whether you want to lend some tokens or when you want to swap in the blockchain? You would have to connect your wallet, which you can actually see here on the top. I already have a connected wallet with the Ethereum address. And then you would actually instruct the agent to do some action. And then he wouldn't actually be able to do that. The first thing that would happen is like a pop-up to essentially do exactly what the agent was trying to do. With the smart session, if you consider the example that we had before with the Uniswap, you would actually have a range of what it could do. Let's say that we actually give this agent 3 tokens to trade. It would be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, and maybe some USDC or USD Tether. And then we would actually tell the agent, hey, I want to find some strategy where I actually want to trade these tokens, and you can be as descriptive as you want. Now, the agent understands the user-defined policies that you put, so it can actually adjust the strategy based on what it can do, and it would be fully automated. You would still have the control to disconnect, as always, but you would not have to approve every pop-up. And this actually means that you can actually leave the agent. Now, you don't actually have to stick around for it to complete its actions or approve each action. One other thing is that a lot of people really like this concept of dollar cost averaging. This essentially is a recurring action that you could do. For example, every week I'm going to buy $100 worth of ETH, independent of the price. Today, you wouldn't be able to do this, because if you were to say that I'm going to buy $100 worth of ETH, you need to know what prices are going to be every week, and therefore at every week it would send you a pop-up. It would be incredibly painful to build this. Centralized exchanges offer this today, but obviously if you're doing it the centralized exchanges way, then you actually have the server taking control over your wallet. In here, we have the exact same experience as a centralized exchange, but this would be completely built into your wallet, really in your hands as a self-custodial wallet. And all you have to do here is to give a permission that every week you can spend $100. It's a very simple permission. It's something that is not very complicated for us to program, and it would allow you to have one of the most popular use cases where people want to save money, invest their salary with dollar cost averaging. This is already possible today with smart sessions. You can go a little bit more fun. Like, people have been trying to build games on the blockchain, and even something simple as Pong would be pretty much impossible. Imagine you had to move the Pong up and down, and every time the ball hits the Pong, you have to sign a transaction. Like today, games are essentially unfeasible, and most of the time what people end up doing is having to create a dedicated wallet for that game, and for every game you play, you have a different wallet, and then you play 100 games, you have 100 wallets. With Smart Session, you wouldn't have that, because then you actually create a session for this game. It only happens for certain actions. For example, you could encode, I can go up and down, and I can deposit and withdraw. So maybe I'll deposit some money for me to say, if I win, I'll double my money, and if I'll play up and down, and this would require no wallet pop-ups. Or we could just do like something really simple. Like even today, what very high frequency trading can be done today is impossible because there's like just way too much to be approved. Like even this experience can be built much better with Smart Sessions. And we have seen this in some blockchains where they actually built this smart wallet functionality into the blockchain alone. But the power of Smart Sessions is not the fact that it has not been done before, is the fact that it can be done everywhere that 월렛커넥트 is present. So what does this look like? When you are a user, you might think, oh, this is quite simple, like why haven't we done this before? The reason is because as developers, it can be quite complicated to abstract this logic, and we actually have succeeded at doing this by creating certain use cases. For example, one of the APIs that we created was this idea of a subscription, because it was one of the most highly requested features where you're creating a specific policy for recurring actions. So even if you wanted to do something like a subscription to a streaming service or a subscription to your favorite platform, you could actually say that I choose for this chain that I'm going to give some permission to the signer that every month is going to spend 99.99. So this is a very simple subscription. You won't even need to understand what's going on here, but if a smart wallet is connected, you will be able to generate this subscription very easily and deduct money from your wallet. But at any point in time, as always, you can disconnect and remove the permission. So yeah, like what we actually have done here is essentially the app and the wallet are still within the user's control, but we created this session that allows some sort of AI logic to have direct communication with the blockchain so that the wallet no longer has to be involved. It's almost similar to how Web 2 works, but it has this very interesting relationship between the wallet and the AI, where the smart session is the policy engine. And 월렛커넥트 is not building AI network. 월let커넥트 is not building its own blockchain. 월let커넥트 is supported in every blockchain and in every wallet. What we have actually introduced is a policy engine for smart sessions that is compatible with smart wallets. And this is essentially one of the core premises of 월let커넥트. We want to give users more choice. It means that you can use any wallet, any chain. We want you to give more control, to give you the tools to really own those assets, and composability, because we are not here to dictate how you're going to use your wallet. It can be for finances, it could be for gaming, it could be for social, it could be for collectibles. We really respect these values when we build something for 월let커넥트 so that it is as wide as possible and we can actually serve the biggest community as possible. And wallets are more than just keys. You know, like, I think that's one of the biggest challenges that sometimes when I try to explain to people is that right now, wallets are keys, but that's not reality in the future. Like, today, we've already shown you that with smart sessions, wallets can become more than keys. They can almost become like these future banks or future internet accounts. And we are really a big believer in this, and that's why we build the 월let커넥트 network to serve as many users as possible, because we think there's going to be far more use cases. And when you think about what 월let커넥트 currently offers, it's security, reliability, and utility. And security and reliability, as many of you know, has been a big, big component of why 월let커넥트 exists. It's one of the safest and most reliable solutions for you to connect any wallet. And we're really focused in driving more and more utility. Smart Sessions is a big component of that, as we saw. But it's not the only thing. Because honestly, when you think about the growth of the network, like we already have like 51 million users and we're growing really fast with over 350 million connections. So that utility not only will increase our network, but it also will expand where WalletConnect can be. One of our biggest mottos is the fact that WalletConnect is really everywhere. So what other use cases can WalletConnect do as we make wallets smarter and more useful and bring more utility? So today we allow you to connect the wallets. We allow you to verify. This is one of the most important parts of our security to protect from phishing attacks and scams. We also allow you to sign. As we saw, we have not only the ability to sign in multi-chain, but we also have the ability to sign for smart sessions. But paying is a big component. So why are WalletConnect such a big project? We have really taken very seriously that login with any wallet. We have never excluded any wallet in the ecosystem, and that's why we have more than 700 wallets today. Your favorite wallet will be part of the WalletConnect network, and if it's not, then they should definitely reach out to our team so we can make it as easy as possible. And also, the verification part, we have detected a lot of phishing attacks. We've protected a lot of users. We make sure that domains are always verified by the developers. We make sure that there's no mismatch where someone is trying to impersonate. And one of the things that actually have saved the most people is actually threat detection. When an attack has been reported, every wallet in the WalletConnect network will get a warning so that you don't connect to that application. And with signing, it might seem simple, but WalletConnect, 7 years ago, was only working with Ethereum. And 3 years ago, we made a big improvement in the network where we actually made it compatible with Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Cosmos, Polkadot. You name one chain, WalletConnect is now present there. So when we build all of these features, we're not just building for Ethereum, we're building for multiple chains. And that's a much bigger challenge, but it's also a much bigger goal that we have. So let's talk about what I really want to talk about. How can we bring more utility? One of the biggest things that we noticed is that not only we're seeing more and more people using the WalletConnect network, but we're actually seeing people starting to spend assets in the network. And if you look here, this can get very complicated because if you're now going to buy something, you don't get asked what token you're going to use or what network, you just pay for stuff. But with blockchain, this doesn't work. So with WalletConnect Pay, what we've done is actually creating a menu of options that the application can offer to the wallet to choose. And the wallet, based on the balances, can know, I don't have this token, I also don't have this token, I also don't have this token, I actually have 1,000 USDC on Solana. So from those options, I'm going to pay the app with this. So automatically, the WalletConnect Pay will just choose that, and you, in a single click, just like we made login into a single click, you would be able to pay instantly. And this is one of the biggest pain points that we've seen, is that a lot of people are trying to build these e-commerce experience and even in-person payments. But the first thing you get approached when you try to pay with crypto is select the chain you're going to use, select the token you're going to use, select the amount you're going to use, and we can completely automate with different tokens, different chains, and different amounts. And the wallet is now smart enough to actually identify the balance and actually choose how to fulfill this request. And honestly, this is actually not even that innovative, because if you look at how payment networks in traditional finance work, it's exactly how it works. And we're just bringing great best practices in traditional finance into the on-chain world, and we're deploying this across all chains and all wallets. And that's why WalletConnect Pay is super powerful. It's not just about making it smarter for the use cases that we described before around social and gaming. It's also about simple use cases like paying for coffee, buying a t-shirt. This is possible today, and we're actually working very hard with our wallets to make sure that more merchants can accept crypto with WalletConnect Pay. So, what is the road ahead? I've talked a lot, but there's a lot of things that we're always working. Our biggest focus has always been building infrastructure for wallets to be better. We help wallets to give you a better experience. There is not such a thing as there is a WalletConnect wallet, but there is 700 wallets in the WalletConnect network. And as the biggest network of wallets, we bring as much infrastructure as possible to them. We try to add as many features, more utility. We actually are doing some regional expansion where we actually are deploying nodes in South America for faster connections. We actually grew the WalletConnect token also to be multi-chain. So it's not just the network, also the token is now available both on Ethereum and Solana. And as any decentralized project, we have a very formal governance now that actually makes active decisions on building the roadmap so that we are bigger, faster, and stronger. And building fees is going to be a big topic. And one of the things that we've noticed is that now with the actual WalletConnect network, we actually have the mechanism to do a revenue share such that all of this volume that's going through the WalletConnect network, whether that's through smart sessions or through WalletConnect Pay, we can actually incentivize all participants from revenue, not from rewards exclusively, but from actual revenue that's directly related to how the network grows. So yeah, just to wrap that up, one of the things that we always value is on-chain experience. We do this together. We do this not just with our developers, we do this with our partners, we do this with our community, and we actually have been building more and more platforms for people to get involved. And honestly, in the WalletConnect.network website, you can find either documentation to learn about the token or documentation to learn about all of these features that I just described, also about how the staking and governance works. Because after 7 years of building this, if there's one thing that I've learned is that the more people we actually get involved, the better these solutions come up. We can never design these in a company, stuck in an office. It really requires the whole world to build this together. Thank you so much.